Then we can.
Yeah, we can always just go back and edit.
I literally started recording in the middle of Sunil saying, "Why don't we just start recording?"
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
So I guess we go to an introduction for the pilot or premiere episode of. So everyone here, welcome to the premiere episode of. I guess we're calling it Beard Trek now because of the certain situation we're in. My name is Sunil.
I'm Raz.
I'm some drunk Canadian.
So I guess what we're trying to do here is we want to talk about whatever it is that we randomly talk about, but the whole idea of what Beard Trek was and is started with Raz and I. What was that 2 years ago now, Raz? 3 summers ago?
Yeah, it was September.
No, it was
wasn't it September? No, it was it wasn't the equinox.
before the summer solstice.
Yeah.
That's right. And Raz and I played on a floor hockey team, and we went for a drink to a little place in Victoria, Smuggler's Cove. I'd never been there before, and while we were there, drink after drink, like I think we were on like 5 or 6 at that point, and we started talking about the places that we've never been to. So Raz and I had this brilliant idea to Google every single bar in the greater Victoria area to find out which ones we hadn't been to. And then in our drunken wisdom, we decided by the winter solstice, is that what it was? In December, there 6 months that we would go to have at least one drink in every establishment that serves alcohol outside of restaurants, lounges, pubs, things like that. So we could say we've had a drink together at every single place. That was how it started.
And it seemed really doable at the time. And then we started writing down the names of all of the places. And then the list started looking pretty challenging.
I have it. I'm just going to pull it up here. The list started with, currently it sits at 136 places. Some places open, some places closed. So that number's always fluctuating. But we're like, that's a lot. That means you're doing like 8 or 9 a week to make that. And the funny thing is, Raz and I hit like 65 places in the first 2 months. And we did really well. We were way ahead of the curve. We're sitting at 92 out of 136 on the non-updated list. And that meant we would go to a place and not necessarily sit there and have beers, maybe just have a sleeve or have a shot and move on to the next one. I think we're going twice a week, wasn't it, Raz? About 5 places a night for twice a week?
Yep.
Yeah, so...
While we were on pace, yeah, and oftentimes it would just be like the weekend and spend half of the day doing it.
Yeah, there was a couple times, we've had some guests that have come with us, and we will again in the future, but there's one time we went out to Sydney and we went to, I think, 8 different places, and, we got a ride out there, and we had a friend coming back from Calgary who picked us up from the airport on the way home. Like, just random things have happened. Downtown obviously was the easiest, but, I digressed there quite a bit. I guess the goal of what we're trying to do is, I guess Raz and I first started about we just wanted to go to each place and try it. Say we've been there. And then it kind of evolved into each place we did a video. So we had it and we were going to put it together through iMovie and just, share it with each other, maybe put it on Facebook or YouTube and then it kind of, as people started coming into it and more people found out about it, everyone wanted to come with us for a day. And the other part was everyone started giving us ideas and we thought, well, maybe we could review every establishment we go to. We haven't gotten far in terms of how we're going to do that, but obviously how the place is, service, patio, because it's a summertime thing, really. How good the patios are, like I said, how good the service is. Where's the best spot, busiest spot, best. I know there's a list of happy hours there, but things like that. And
yeah, it's just kind of.
That's where Brandon came in to help us with the whole technical side of things.
Yeah, it's just kind of grown. It started off as, we just want to be able to say, I've had a beer in every single bar in Victoria with this guy.
Yeah.
And then it grew to, well, why don't we take a little video at each one and we'll make a cool montage when we finish the whole thing. And then it kind of grew from there. Like Sunil was saying, now it's, we might rate the places, give some tips, whatever, see what we can add to it.
Yeah, and we broke it down in a way where, just looking at the list here, there's 6 places in James Bay. I think we did that in the first weekend when Trent was in town. Like that was easy to hit. 61 in downtown, which is the easiest one because they're so close. You can walk them. You don't have to get out there. We broke into Gorge, Oak Bay, Cook area, Fernwood, North Park, Gordon Head, Esquimalt, Uptown, Central Saanich, Sydney, Millstream, Langford. Langford's a tough one just because we got to get out there. Machosen, Souk. And we haven't thought about the Gulf Islands yet. We're not sure if we're going to be, because there's a couple pubs out there. That's a day trip for sure. So we haven't thought about that one yet. And we added a couple bonuses like the Royals game, Esquimalt Market, Phillips Backyard Weekender, Jazz Fest. Anything that pops up like that, we've kind of added there a bonus mark, if you will. So
it's almost like you guys are doing a public service.
100% it's a public service.
That's how I'd characterize it for sure.
There's some places that neither of us been to where I liked and Raz didn't. Like we went to a place in Esquimalt, the one in the attic where we had the wings, and there's just a whole bunch of old guys sitting up top. There's karaoke night. Raz hates karaoke, and the waitress or I guess his bartender comes up and, hey Phil, one more beer before you get home. Martha's gonna get mad. And, yeah, I'll have one more. And you got the old regulars sitting there. I like that place. I don't think Raz liked that one so much.
I mean, it was a blast from the past for sure, but it just kind of felt, I don't know, like
Esquimalt.
Esquimalt. Just kind of, I don't know, like dingy, really like stuck in the past.
I don't know if I would socialize there often, but it'd be a place I definitely go to again. Like Brad, next time you're in town, like let's go have a beer there just to so you can see what it's like. I think some of the fun ones like Phillips Backyard Weekender, that was a blast. Obviously, that was a good time, outdoor concert.
Mm-hmm.
People that don't know, there's in the backyard of Phillips Brewery where they have they fence it off and they have an outdoor concert essentially. And I remember who the big name was when we went. I honestly can't remember now, but like I met DJ Jazzy Jeff there a few years ago.
Wasn't it Ice Cube? No, that was
no,
a
it
different
wasn't.
one.
It wasn't Ice Cube. It was.
I remember you taking the picture with Jazzy Jeff.
It was Chaos.
Was Chaos the big one? No,
well, Chaos was there. Maybe Chaos wasn't the big one.
Brandon, you probably looked that up.
Probably
2019, was it last summer?
No, it was more than that.
Yeah,
I think.
No,
2 summers.
No, it was last summer.
It was last summer. 2019, yeah. Phillips Backyard. We went on the Saturday, I think. You tell us who the headliner is, we'll let you know. But Jazz Fest was cool. We had a beer out in Centennial Square there, downtown Victoria. It was like it was like 30 degrees outside that day. I remember we were looking for shade as much as we could because it was sweaty out there. We haven't hit any of the places in Souk. That's a bit of a drive, and if you're out there, like we're gonna be out there, so that's a tough one.
Well, I mean that's not entirely true. We have hit one of the places in Souk.
Chaos, Shad, Danny Brown, Dirty Project, Steel Pulse.
Maybe it was Chaos.
I think it was. At least I remember being pretty stoked when Chaos came on stage that night.
Yeah, because that was the Saturday. We went on the Saturday, I think, because Darren was with us.
Yep.
Boom and Batten was also good. The one in Esquimalt there.
Yeah, well, we went there. I guess it was maybe 2 weeks after it opened.
Yeah, it's a pub in the new marina in downtown Victoria. There you got to go through Esquimalt, and it's a really looks like a high end place. It's right on the water, literally on the water. Raz and I took a boat. We took a pickle boat to get out there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So sorry, whereabouts is it?
It's in Esquimalt by almost kind of by Spinnakers, maybe a little bit closer to downtown than Spinnakers. It's right on the water,
Yeah,
right
it's-
across the harbor from like the ledge there. You got to take a boat. Close to the Delta Hotel where Moira, you and I, Moira
Right. Yeah, I remember.
just like
have you
around.
ever?
So kind of like in Vic West.
Yeah, it is very much in Vic West. Have you ever kayaked in the Inner Harbor, Brendan?
No, I don't want to
No.
get
Okay.
several diseases.
Well, I mean, you try
You
not
don't go
to.
in the water.
You try not to like fall out of your kayak. Generally, at least that's my approach. But yeah, like basically, like if you keep walking along the Songhees walkway, like from the from the Johnson Street Bridge, you come to it. It's probably like half of the distance between the bridge and Spinnakers.
Okay.
I'm sure at this point, Brandon, you can probably just pop up a little map of it, and that way, while we're talking about this, people can see where it actually is. Because it is a good spot. We didn't have any food there. I heard the food might be a bit overpriced, but I heard the food's good.
It was a nice location, very nice location.
And it actually worked out really well for us because a friend of mine was there who used to be in the Navy, and I've been bugging him. I told Raz we're gonna get on to the naval base and have a drink at the officers' lounge. You need to know an officer, and I said, this is the guy. You know, I'll give him a call, and I just kept on forgetting. We bumped into him a couple times downtown actually, and I got his number. He's like, hey, just make sure you give me a call, and we finally saw him. And he set it up for us to go on to the HMCS.
Maybe
Ottawa.
Classified.
That's classified information.
Classified.
It's classified. So
You must be classified, sir.
Maybe I think this is a good place to maybe switch over to how we know each other.
All right, so Brandon worked at the legislature first for the BC government there. I started, I'm not sure how long after Brandon.
You started the next session, so like I started
6
September.
months.
No, like
4 months?
4 months. Yeah.
I started in January, and then Raz started in September after me. So we worked together for, I guess, 5 years. Yeah, like those were good times. We can get into that on another episode here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we worked together for a long time. Obviously, became friends and stayed and remained friends once we all left that job there. And
Went,
kinda went there.
went drinking to the Victoria bar scene quite often.
Yeah, we did. We did a lot.
got to know it quite. We were doing advanced research for our new podcast, which
So that you could really say this is like 5-10 years in the making.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what it really did? And I think one of the big reasons that this thing started the way it did is because you guys wanted to get me out of Barden Banker and go somewhere else for once.
because that was the only place you wanted to go ever.
Remember we had that challenge of who could find a
Yes.
place that Sunil won't say no to?
Yeah. And then for like a good 6 months, I said yes to the first thing you guys said every time. Yeah, sure, let's go there. That's in Nanaimo. Yeah, fine with me.
So the best 6 months of our drinking.
Barden Banker is pretty good though.
And then that's I think when St. Frank's opened is when that ended.
Love
Yeah,
it.
that became the new Sunil go-to.
It's always good for a couple beers. You know what? Maybe you need to get your hair cut.
It's all right.
It's
The
good
one
for.
time I got my haircut there, it was awful.
You probably got the wrong guy. Yep, that's where you kind of put the rookies.
Yeah. Well, it was a lady, but I was like, yeah, I really don't want like a hipster haircut. Like, I need to like leave some length. Like, don't cut it super short. So she cuts it super short, and then she's like, "Oh no, it's uneven. We're gonna have to like trim
Oh no!
the other side of it." But I was like, "This is literally the opposite of what I asked for." Like, I wasn't super specific about anything except like, don't cut it too short, and that was what I got. So
I ask you to do one thing. Yeah, that was, and then we had a couple other good times there, Raz, didn't we?
at St. Frank's, yes, we did.
Christmas time,
That was a good spot.
where we were talking with some political staffers, and you scared them off.
That happened a couple times on the
It was a
wild.
pretty funny conversation.
It was pretty funny. Like she completely overreacted, and since then, some people that know her are just like, why would she do that? That's just ridiculous. Like, we've had drinks in bars with staffers from other places before too. It's not a big deal, but I guess she thought she was a big deal. I actually don't remember her name, but
that's happened a few times. Remember at Penny Farthing with Larry after the hockey game?
no, it was Tristan.
Oh yeah, it was Tristan. Sorry, yeah.
And then my buddy Paul brought in those two NDP staffers. Yeah, I'll call them out. Two NDP staffers from Ottawa who were just dicks. Like, we're just having a beer, having a casual talk, and they attacked us. Like, it was an unwarranted attack. We're just like, hey, grab a seat, have a drink, and they just like went right for the jugular. It was like, whoa. And then Tristan got into it with it. That was the best part.
Well, you can always count Tristan for shit like that.
Yeah, he had his talking points on. Like, he was just on point. You see him rattling off 1 through 10. If asked this, say this.
Quick, where's my talking points?
It's like a flow chart.
That's right. Yeah, that's like the reply all flow chart that you so.
I love that thing.
Sent around the building.
Who accidentally hit reply all like some idiot.
And everyone hits reply all to every.
No reply, Checo.
Yeah.
And I guess the other part of this whole thing is, as this has evolved, not the last time, but a couple times ago, we were all having a chat. We went on a 2-hour tangent about Star Trek. It could have been longer. I don't remember the last part.
Okay, let's preface that with all three of us are huge Star Trek nerds. Like,
Huge.
it's pretty safe to say, like, we're probably the three biggest ones. Fourth would probably be Greg Moy. And I would argue Greg's probably bigger than us sometimes.
So I would also add to that list Marlon, because he is also even more so than us.
Oh,
and
really?
Probably more knowledgeable. Yeah.
Well, Greg and Marlon are just like nerds in general, like overall, and so their nerdiness helps out nerd us with their Star Trek nerdiness because their overall persona.
Because we're not nerds.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
All right, moving on.
Whatever makes you feel better.
So I guess with that is how you get the name of the podcast, Beer, all the bars, and Track, Star Trek. But it's also like journeying through all the bars.
It was definitely how we ended up with the name for the original concept of Beer Trek.
Yeah.
So now, obviously, the original concept for Beer Trek is in a non-COVID world, which is not the world we're living in right now and probably won't live in for another 10 years.
The original concept of Beer Trek is, for the moment, completely non-viable.
No.
Yeah, for the foreseeable future. And that's where I guess we turned this into more of conversations that we can have about other random things. And that's all liking Star Trek and can talk about it. I'd say, with some weight behind it, that it's a conversation that it probably lasted, 4 hours the other night, like that night? We're up till
4 in the morning. Well, Raz, I think you left. No, I left, actually. And that's when the thing ended.
Yeah, I think we... you were like, hey, it's really late. I got to go to bed. But you guys can keep going. We were like, no.
I didn't know what time it was. Like,
yeah, no, it was like 3, 4 in the morning. Yeah.
I know I felt it the next day. That's for sure.
Not yet anymore.
Felt it real hard.
See if I find that picture. I turned the Enterprise into a giant beer.
Yeah, I remember you showing me that one.
Like that was. See if I can play this.
I firmly that the only thing we have to fear is.
I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties.
Some technical difficulties here.
experiencing technical difficulties.
Bullshit!
So there are two things you can expect from Beer Trek. The first is beer, and the second is now Star Trek.
I don't know how it came up. Probably we were talking about it, but I think I had just watched an episode of Star Next Generation, or we were talking about Picard or something. We started talking about the best episodes of the Next Generation. And we really dove into how ahead of its time it was Star Trek in terms of dealing with racism and dealing with what's going on, especially in this COVID world. And that turned into a 4 a.m. drinking chat. And that gave us the idea, like, we should have recorded that, because that would have been a great first episode to, even if we had like a bit of it to tease with, and and so that's kind of where that comes from. We'll talk Star Trek. I'm sure other things will pop up, and everything that's going on, and our sport's going to return in the fall. Little things like that. I don't think so, but that being my livelihood, I really hope it does. So we'll wait and see. But that's the idea of Star Trek, and then Brandon kind of came with the idea of, like, let's expand Beer Trek from just, because we wanted to put that on YouTube. Like, we're going to go to Raz and I are going to go to all the places, and you're going to be the
well. My idea for Beer Truck when you guys came to me was we have your videos, but we also have a website with like a Google Maps, and you click on this bar, and your guys' written review comes up, but also like the video for that bar. Right. And then have people suggest other bars through that site type deal. Kind of being a public service.
Yeah, because there's a lot of bars, like I showed you, there are 136, 60 downtown alone, 60 plus. And when you go out, sometimes it's hard to make those decisions. Like, there's a couple of places Raz and I went to, like, yeah, we're too old for this. This is for the kids.
Also, if you're a tourist coming to Victoria, or if we expand elsewhere, knowing which bars, like knowing ahead of time what the locals think, or like, someone that's been there, like.
And it's something that's better than Yelp. Like, you can actually watch the video.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Where Yelp, people can make up their own files and say their own restaurant's awesome, but
exactly.
You got two idiots walking around downtown drinking, saying, "Hey, you gotta go to this place." Like, I used to hate going to the Otter. They had all those renos there, and I was like, "We should go there." We actually went there a couple times now, I think.
It's a good little spot now.
Especially those renos they made. Yeah, it turned out really nice, and it's literally right on the water. The one thing I think Victoria lacks, Victoria being surrounded by three sides of water, there's not very many places on the water.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah,
Like,
we are lacking for patios in the perfect patio environment.
Like the Days Inn, or what, Belleville's, I guess now, where Brandon, you and I went.
Yeah.
And that's where Raz dropped my phone.
That's where we also had the slap bed with Kyle Marsh.
That's right. Great patio.
Yeah.
Great for people watching too, but water's on the other side of the street,
And then you got the steamship on that side of the street, also a great patio, and
except
great
it's
spot
covered
for drinks, but it's not permanently covered though. There's some parts that are.
It's it's covered all year round with those tents.
Still a nice patio.
If you want to sit on a patio, like, I'd rather go to the Bent Mast. Wouldn't say rather, but you need something like that. I think that's open.
I think some of the worst wasted space in the harbor is the shops under Milestones and Milestones' area, and Milestones itself. I feel like that could be a better usage. Like, Milestones is okay.
It's a cookie cutter restaurant that you franchise. It's not very good.
No.
Good patio though, a great spot.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, imagine having, another local joint in there, something like that.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like, if you had, I like the local. Great, probably one of the best patios in town, I would say. If they had a spot down where Milestones is, like a second location or something, like, they'd be killing it.
Local has a great spot in Vancouver on Kitts Beach. Like, it's across the street from the beach, but their patio, you could see the beach, see all the greenery. It's a great spot, great place to drink. And yeah, I feel like if Local was in that Milestone space, it'd be better than the kids location. The kids location is pretty kick ass.
Yeah. Darcy's has a good patio, but I don't like the rentals they did. They kind of cut the patio off from the street.
Yeah, it almost blocks the space a little bit in
It's like almost like a bar, an L-shaped bar. So you can sit at it and stare at the street, but everyone's sitting down. You can't see past those people because it's a raised bar.
Interesting.
So they got
it
rid-
used to be
more
more
private.
casual when it was all on the one level. Like
Yeah.
it was a really relaxed spot, just like next to the people walking by. But now it feels cut off.
Yeah, because and I like how the local kept theirs. Like they just put some glass there. They never. It just used to be like a bar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously that's not good for licensing laws, but they put in some glass and it's still a great spot. And, you know, I think they're Darcy's hurt themselves. If you ever walk by, you know, everyone goes to the local first, and that joint is always busier than Darcy's. You know, at any given time, I think that's a big reason because of it.
Well, for me, Darcy's always was the Ledge Friday, go out, get drunk, party it up, night ender. Because that's where you would end the night.
Yeah.
At Darcy's,
Yeah.
that was a frequent end of the night spot.
Or
for
sometimes
sure.
it'd be like you go to local, eat, have your starter drinks, and then migrate over to Darcy's and then to upstairs.
I liked when we started getting into Commons,
Yeah.
the one right next to Empress there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, someone knew someone, but like going to it used to be Bon Rouge, 10 acres, and then going to the other place. Like it's big, it's open, it's a good spot. They actually have a good patio, but it's small.
What's the one right beside the Empress?
That is the Commons.
Is that the
That's
Commons?
Commons,
Where
yeah.
they had like a Christmas party one year?
Yeah.
And... Okay.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, it used to be an oyster bar where they had the big mermaid on top
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the bar there, and they bought whatever was next to it, and they got 3 different restaurants. They got the Commons, they got the Kitchen, and 10 acres. Great food, like really good food, very local. The people that own that place own a farm, 10 Acres Farms, hence the name. So they farm to table their own stuff, which is awesome, I think. And that's where they have that place, the Courtney Room, across the street from 10 Acres, which was rated top 10 in Canada for restaurants, and it was actually number 10.
That was funny because when we went to it, we hadn't actually heard of it. And we spotted it and we're like, okay, well, let's check that place out. And we managed to like just squeak into like the last table that they had available. And then we ended up pretty nice spot, like really nice venue.
Yeah.
And then we ended up looking it up as we were sitting there. It turns out, yeah, it's one of the highest rated places around.
And what's funny about that spot, there's probably, since I've come to Victoria, 15 years, there's probably been 8 to 10 different restaurants in that place. It used to be a Japanese place called Sanook, and I know at a reception it was something else. Like it's just one of those spots where just no one can hold it, and restaurants keep changing, and except this place. So that's actually pretty impressive. But the only thing I didn't like, and maybe it's because we just ordered beers, and that's probably closer to the end of the night, but it took us a long time to get our beers.
That's true.
We waited. We could have gone to 2 other places to have a pint, and like it definitely killed Beer Trek, because I think you had to leave after that.
Yeah, it killed the momentum because we were on a roll that night, like going through a bunch of places, and then we ended up kind of going straight to the buzzer.
Get a beer?
Beer.
Where the hell's my drink?
Chicken Res.
I'm drinking some Hoyne Pilsner.
Oh, actually, Bud Light.
Transition to our last section here before we
Grab
wrap
me a
it
beer,
up.
please.
We know what Raz is drinking. Sunil, what are you drinking? I'll show what I'm drinking. And also, kind of in the vein of Beer Trek, but in the flip side, what is a bar in Victoria you would not recommend going to?
Not
And
recommend.
Not recommend.
And why?
Ooh.
Starting with Raz, since you've already told us your Hoyne Pilsner.
Oh, thanks.
What bar do I not recommend in Victoria?
Or which bar do you personally not enjoy going to? That you think people should know you don't like it for XYZ reason.
The Social on View Street, Res?
Ooh. I think you got a winner there. Yeah, it's not my favorite spot.
I don't mind it. We won't get into the reasons of why we can go there for so long, but it's a small dive, the size of the living room. It's got dartboards. It's got old people that have been drinking there for probably 50 years. And the guy gives you full 20-ounce pints. Now this bullshit that Earl's gives you their 16-ounce or Cactus Club gives you a 16-ounce pint. I didn't know you could change a measurement. Like a measurement's a measurement's a measurement, but I guess the American pint or the North American pint is only 18 ounces. Yet Earl's gets off giving you 16 ounces. And I've tweeted them about it and I've talked to them about it. But 20 ounces is a pint.
See, a pint is a proper measurement in the UK where they like fill it to the top, let it start overflowing, and then they got the little
Yeah.
Right? And that's
Which is why I like Guinness, because on the Guinness it has a mark pint here.
yeah. And it even says 20 ounce.
Yeah.
It's got that line.
Yeah.
Whereas some places will just say pint and stop.
Yeah.
But it's clearly 16 or 18 ounces. Whereas a sleeve's 12. So you're paying pint prices for 4 more ounces than a sleeve. That's bullshit.
So Raz,
On you, Earls.
social. Why don't you like it?
I don't know. It's just don't get me wrong. I like some dive bars, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the atmosphere at social. It just
That's fair.
Fair enough. All right.
It's
you,
not.
you put me on the spot, Brandon. I wasn't expecting to answer. Which one do I not like?
Because you told us it was going to be what our favorite one is. And so
Yeah.
you pulled a nice one.
Yeah. Keeping you guys on your toes as producer. Sunil, what are you drinking and where would you not recommend?
Well, I'm drinking Phillips Blue Buck, the best craft beer ever designed,
Ever crafted?
ever crafted. Matt Phillips, good guy, always been good to me. They do good stuff locally. They're very big local. They are, along with a lot of different places, they're now making hand sanitizer as well. Phillips brand hand sanitizer. Place I don't like to drink. That is tough. I do like to drink.
If you don't come up with a place, I'm going to call you out because back in the day, we would recommend places you would always have a reason not to go.
I
there.
know. I hated going to Bart's, but I got over that. I actually quite like Bart's. I hated going to Bartholomew's. But again, once you guys actually got me, I'm like, hey, this isn't so bad. Maybe I should do this more often. I'm like one of those. It's like no one wants to go. One of those the kids that don't want to go in the water, but once again, they have the best time. They don't want to come out. It's exactly what I'm like. We actually had a good time at the Beagle Pub. Remember how that jazz band there was?
The Beagle is a great spot,
Yeah.
in general. The only thing about there is it does get really loud,
Where's the Beagle again?
which near Cook Street Village there.
Oh yeah.
That place is awesome. I like that place.
Mhm.
You're right though. For some reason, it gets super loud in its confined space. Just the way the acoustics work in that place. Ross Bay Pub. That's what I was thinking. Where they had that live band there.
Oh yeah, Ross Bay Pub. That one was an interesting one. I'd never been there before. It's like a
Oh, really?
pub inside of a little strip mall almost.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have expected it to be
Interesting.
Great,
there.
very good burgers. McLean and I used to go there for lunch, during when we were at the Ledge. There, it was a good spot.
We're looking for a place you don't like.
I know. I'm just doing process elimination. Speaking of that, though, you know what we should do is we should get McLean on this one time too, because he'd be a great because he can speak nerd.
Yeah,
He's good at Star Trek, and he'd probably class up this conversation a little bit too.
a tad bit.
Yeah. Okay. I like that place too. Browns is good. You know what? I would say my experience to this point in what we've done, the Courtney Room was the place where I don't think it's a good spot just to go have a beer. They were slow. Their food's expensive, which means the servers want to serve food so they can make more money. We were not a priority for them, which was kind of like in the state we were kind of like, we need to get drinking. Let's get going here so we hit another spot. And so if you put me on the spot, I would say the Courtney Room's not a place to go drink. It's a place to maybe go dine if you have a
Fair
fancy
enough.
dinner
Yep.
and things like that. But if you're just going for there, and the other one, I just never really liked Peacocks.
Where's that?
The billiards place.
James Joyce.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
down at.
Yeah, I don't care for it. It's just
I've never been.
you can only drink in this small spot. Their seats suck. You can't drink and play pool at the same time.
I think you can drink and play pool at the same
Maybe
time.
they might have changed that, but you can't walk through it. That's one of those funny things we came up with the liquor review. But that one area to get to the pool tables isn't licensed, so you can't carry your own beer over there. They have to bring it to you, and they got to walk a certain way. But I would say Peacocks is the place that was probably my least favorite.
Cool.
Courtney Room, I went. It was up there too. Again, that was just more because we went there for the wrong reason, I think. What about you, Brandon?
I'm drinking White Claw because I'm addicted to this shit. I've been.
How many of those have you had this week?
4 6-packs.
Alcoholic.
You're an alcoholic. Well, you're a real alcoholic.
Bar pub I would not recommend going to in Victoria is I'm gonna give 2, the Duke or Big Bad John's, because I hate country music.
Good one. I hate the Duke. That's a good one.
I hate
I like
country
the
music.
Duke. I like the Duke.
The Duke sucks.
Big Bad John's I feel is overrated
like
because
it.
everyone in Victoria is like a country bro.
You know what else?
That's a direct shot at Tristan, by the way.
Yeah, I knew
I
it
got that. I got
Yeah,
that.
no, I
That
knew it
was-
was.
And I hate the Duke because it is a meat locker.
Yes.
I've just never had any fun at any one of those.
The
places.
Duke sucks. They charge Terry Larry loves the Duke.
I don't get it. I respect the guy
but
except for that one part.
But they charge $6 for a can of beer there. Like a can of Lucky or Budweiser.
Yeah, no, it's Pabst. Pabst or
Oh,
Lucky.
yeah, even worse. The
PBR.
Yeah.
worst beer ever designed. But they have the Duke. You're right, sucks. Country music, obviously, and then it's just a bad layout. That place was better when it was Evolution and used to be called Rehab, or Retox. Sorry, Retox.
Retox. I
It
missed
didn't
that
last very
whole
long.
period. That's probably for the best.
Yeah. And the thing about Big Bads, what I'll defend is Big Bads is trendy now. They did some renos. It's more a place where it's go because it's cool. Back in the day, Big Bads, you wanted to sit in a corner seat where you could watch both sides so you didn't get shanked or stabbed. As you probably remember those days. Like, it was a sketchy place, and it was a place where, on payday, the deadbeat dad would go and spend the money he should be, on food. It really was.
It used to have the same sort of vibe that like Logan's has now.
Which one's Logan's?
Logan's is the one by North Park, like the
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
yeah.
great
It's
patio
like-
at Logan's though.
Great patio, yeah.
Unreal
we
patio.
discovered that when we went there, and actually like that was during like an afternoon or whatever, and it was a great spot for that. But I feel like it's kind of it's a real dive bar. Like Big Bad Jones is like a wannabe dive bar now. Like they're trying to be like the
They're
styling
catering
of
to
the
the
dive
millennials.
bar.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's like what St. Frank's is. Like St. Frank's is designed to be a dive bar because they're cool, and the guy who owns it, I think you guys have met him. Like Matt, great guy. He owns Victory Barbershop. He designed it to be that way. Like that's what he wanted out of it. And then, like I said, it's good for a couple beers, a couple drinks, sit at the bar. Because I know, knowing the bartenders here obviously has its perks as well. But when that place is busy and it's got all those hipsters and all those, like you say, not country bros, but I'd call them some kind of bros. It's a bit much. I'll agree with that. But when you go there like on a Sunday after or Sunday evening, and there's 40 people in there, it's like the perfect.
Bro.
Bro.
Oh, come on, bro.
I think that's a good show. Any last words before we wrap it up?
I've been watching a lot of The Office on Netflix, and it's been fantastic.
Raz?
I look forward to going boldly where no man has gone before on the next episode.
5G causes COVID. Well, at that, have a nice night, guys.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.